Hello everyone. Today we are diving into how to use this for each loop activity in ADF, that is like Azure Data Factory. We'll also explore a common data movement scenario like transferring the data from Azure Blob Storage to ADLS. So to start with, the for each loop, it's a control flow activity in the ADF which is used to iterate over a collection and execute some specified activities or any transformations or any filters for each element in that collection. It's mostly used for for doing this repetitive tasks on your data workflow. This loop comes in handy when you need to perform operations on multiple items like processing or migrating multiple files, applying transformations to set of data entities, etc. So now let's jump into this demo. I'll show you how to use this for each loop to move the data from Azure Blob Storage to ADLS, but you can move the data from ADLS to Blob or to any SQL database, etc. So now, you might have to be doing this, like for example, if you have a daily sales data and you stored, initially you dumped it into blob storage, but later you wanted to have this in ADLS for its extra benefits, benefits as in for performance, etc. Then in such cases you might have to do this task. So to start with, this is my Azure Blob Storage. So this is Blob storage is particularly designed for storing massive amounts of data, and this has a flat hierarchy. That means it has all the data in one single container. I mean, it doesn't have any folder structure or something like that, and this is very cost effective way, but accessing it is difficult. So on the other hand, you also have this ADLS. As I previously told, it has some perks or benefits, like it improves your performance because it has a hierarchical namespace. That means you can organize the files in a directory or subdirectory structure. This improves your data accessing thing and also performance. So this is it. And now moving forward, so this is your ADF. So initially, if you wanted to create a pipeline, just go click over here and have a new pipeline. I already have my pipeline created. And now, so if you wanted to move, I wanted to move all these three files to ADLS. That means initially I have to know like what files are in this container. Normally I have all these files in the container, or else you can also have a folder, and inside a folder you can have this. So first you need to understand what files, how many files are in a folder, or what are the names. Then you have an activity called get metadata, which helps you to understand how many files are in the folders and what are their names, when are they last modified, etc. Simply the metadata of the if you give it a container, etc. So in here, this is my first activity. Here I have to set up a path to my blob storage. So Azure Blob Storage, this is my data set. I have the CSV files, and then I'll click continue, and I'm naming this as my blob 1818. Now I have to create a linked service to that blob storage. So now I'm going to do this here, blob storage 1818, and now I can access that blob. So in here I have this container. Inside the container I have all these files. So I'm giving this to the container level. I have to select what all field lists that I need. So child items, as in you'll get all the files that are inside that container. Item name, item type. If you can also have this last modified. So now I'm validating this, and I just wanted to run and show you what would be the output. The running is in progress, so just give me a minute so this runs. So this is the output. Item name is container 1 and that is type of folder, and the child items are this. So this is nothing but the files that I have here. That's it. So now I want to add this for each loop. I'll add this for each loop. So this is like on success of this get metadata, then only I'll be moving forward to my for each loop. So now inside my for each loop, I have to add items. Like what items, as in each item in the for, like for each, like what on what I have to do this processing or etc. So I'll go to add dynamic contents. So previously in metadata I have the child item, so I want to go through all these child items and move it to ADLS. So now I'll just pass that as items in for each. Now inside the activities I'll add copy data activity. Here my source would be blob storage. So I'm gonna create a dataset, Azure blob storage, CSV. Here you have to create just a minute. So here I have to create parameters so that I have to pass the file names, each file name to this copy data activity, so that each file gets copied to my destination. That is nothing but ADLS. I have created, I already have my linked service. Yeah, so this is it. I'll just click on open. I'll just create a parameter, file name, and that is of type string, and I'll add that file name over here. So in the file path, it's like inside my container, whatever file name that I pass, that should be copied to my destination. This means that, so in here I have configured here, like I have added the parameter here. So I got this column in here asking for the value. So I'll pass current item, that means whatever item that's getting iterated, item dot name. Done. Now sync is your destination. I have to create a path to my ADLS, Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2, ADLS Gen 2. Now the type is CSV. I have to create a linked service for this also. LS 1818, I'll rename it. So now I have to select my ADLS path. I have created the linked service. Here I have to select the container. I'm validating the pipeline, so you have no errors or nothing in your, you have your pipeline configured correctly. So I have my get metadata for each, and inside my for each I have a copy data. Now I'm running the pipeline. It's gonna take some time. So yeah, my pipeline is successful. So now if I refresh my ADLS location, I have the same files with the same names. Also you can also have these files in a different directory or any folder or something like that. So in the sync, then in your dataset you can just mention something like folder 1, folder 2, something like that over here, so that you can have it inside a folder. So then here a folder gets created. Inside the folder you can have the same files copied. So today we have successfully set up this pipeline in ADF to automate them, to move the files from blob storage to ADLS using this sequence like get metadata, then for each loop, and inside the for each loop you have configured this copy data activity. This approach not only simplifies data management but it also enhances our data processing workflows. You can also automate this process